Welcome to Zoe Stories. I lost at poker. Now I'm wearing dresses every day. The cards shook in my hands. Not because they were bad, though they were, but because I knew this was my last chance to win back even a shred of dignity tonight. The basement smelled of old carpet and cheap pizza, laughter echoing around the poker table. Everyone else seemed so relaxed, sipping soda or cheap beer, tossing chips into the pot like it was nothing. But for me, every chip I lost dug me deeper into a hole I couldn't climb out of. I wasn't supposed to even be here. If my mom had known I'd slipped out, she would have killed me. But when Ryan, my best friend since middle school, invited me to a friendly poker night with some of his college buddies, I thought, why not? Maybe I'd finally fit in. Maybe I'd finally stop being the awkward shadow in the room. Instead, I was sitting with an empty wallet, a mountain of lost chips, and a knot in my stomach. Call or fold, Jamie? Ryan smirked at me from across the table, his voice teasing but not unkind. He had that confidence I'd never been able to fake. I swallowed, eyes darting to the pile of chips in the center of the table. It wasn't just money I'd lost. It was pride. They'd been laughing at me all night. My hesitation, my bad calls, the way my hands trembled when I tried to bluff. And then there was her. Samantha. She wasn't supposed to be here either. Ryan's cousin, visiting for the summer, lounging in the armchair with her legs crossed like she owned the place. I'd barely spoken to her before tonight, but she'd watched me lose every hand with those sharp, amused eyes. Every time I thought I might catch a break, she'd smile, like she was already 3 steps ahead of me. She wasn't playing for money. No, Samantha was playing for something else entirely. And I didn't realize it until it was too late. Last hand, she'd said, standing and moving to the table, her perfume cutting through the greasy smell of pizza. Winner takes all. I should have walked away. I should have said no. But pride is a dangerous thing, and I couldn't stand the thought of her looking at me like I was pathetic. So I agreed. Now here I was, holding a miserable pair of 4s while Samantha leaned across the table, her cards face down, her smile predatory. You in? She asked, her voice smooth, silky, dangerous. I don't have any chips left, I muttered, he creeping up my neck. The room buzzed with anticipation. Ryan chuckled, shaking his head like he couldn't believe I was still trying. Samantha tilted her head, pretending to think. Then her smile widened. Then, let's make it interesting. Her eyes locked on mine, and I swear the whole room went silent. If you lose, Jamie, you have to do exactly what I say. No questions. No arguments. The others burst out laughing, egging me on. Do it, man. Don't be a coward. It's just for fun. My throat went dry. I should have refused. But pride, stupid, choking pride, forced the words out of my mouth. Fine. Samantha tapped her nails against her cards, then flipped them over with a flourish. A flush. Perfect, inevitable. My pair of 4s looked pitiful on the table. The laughter was deafening. My heart sank. Samantha leaned back, satisfied, and crossed her arms. Well, looks like you're mine tonight. The words made my stomach twist. What do you? Relax, she interrupted, her voice sharp and playful. It's just a little forfeit. Don't tell me you're scared already. The others chanted. Forfeit. Forfeit. Pounding the table like it was some kind of ritual. I wanted to disappear. But Samantha had already stood, striding to Ryan's mom's old wardrobe in the corner of the basement. She rummaged for a moment, then turned around, holding something that made my blood run cold. A dress. Not just any dress. A short, floral summer dress, light and flowing, with thin straps and a neckline that would make anyone blush. The room erupted in laughter. No way, I whispered. Samantha walked back, dangling the dress like bait. Her eyes glittered. A bet's a bet, Jamie. You lost. And you promised. My face burned. I'm not. There's no way I'm putting that on. She stepped closer, lowering her voice so only I could hear. Then maybe I should post those photos I just took of you losing your mind over a pair of 4s. My head snapped toward her. She held up her phone, screen glowing with a fresh picture of me. Sweaty, desperate, humiliated. My chest tightened. You wouldn't. Her smirk widened. Try me. The room chanted louder, pounding the table. Dress. 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 Ryan was laughing, though not cruelly.
Come on, man.
It's just a joke. But it didn't feel like a joke. It felt like a trap. My hands shook as Samantha pressed the dress into them. The fabric was soft, too soft, like it was mocking me. Upstairs bathroom, she said sweetly, loud enough for everyone to hear. Get changed. We'll be waiting. I stared at her, begging silently for mercy. But she just tilted her head, daring me. And I knew I had no choice. The laughter followed me as I stumbled upstairs, clutching the dress like it was a death sentence. My reflection in the bathroom mirror was pale, eyes wide with panic. This couldn't be happening. I couldn't actually put this on. But Samantha's words echoed in my head. A bet's a bet. And I own you now. My fingers trembled as I pulled my shirt over my head. The cliffhanger was waiting in the mirror. Because once that dress was on, nothing would ever be the same again. The bathroom door clicked shut behind me, and the noise from the basement, cheers, laughter, chanting, faded into a muffled roar. My hands were clammy as I locked the door, clutching the dress against my chest like it was alive, breathing, taunting me. The overhead light buzzed softly, illuminating the cracked tiles and the faint mildew smell. My reflection stared back at me from the mirror, a pale, skinny boy with messy brown hair and wide, frightened eyes. God, I whispered to myself, my voice shaking. What am I doing? I should have run. I should have stormed out. Humiliation be damned. But Samantha's smirk haunted me, her phone still in her hand, the unspoken threat dangling between us. She had me cornered. And worse, I'd agreed. A bet's a bet. My fingers trembled as I unfolded the dress. It was lighter than I expected, the fabric soft and cool, like a whisper. The straps dangled, delicate and thin. It didn't belong to me. It didn't belong to this room. It belonged on someone else, someone pretty, confident, feminine. Not me. I kicked off my sneakers, peeled off my socks. Each layer gone felt like another barrier stripped away. My jeans pooled around my ankles, and I stepped out of them, goosebumps prickling across my bare legs. Standing in just my boxers, I caught sight of myself in the mirror again. My shoulders slumped, my body awkward and thin. I didn't look strong, didn't look masculine. I looked breakable. And then, like a cruel echo, Samantha's voice replayed in my head. You're mine tonight. I swallowed hard and lifted the dress. Slipping it over my head felt surreal. The fabric cascaded down my torso, cool against my skin, falling into place like it had been waiting for me. The neckline clung in ways I didn't expect, the hem brushing against my thighs, higher than any shorts I'd ever worn. I froze, staring at the mirror. It wasn't me. It couldn't be me. But it was. A boy in a girl's dress. My breath caught in my throat. The sight was humiliating, terrifying, and yet, I couldn't look away. The dress hugged me awkwardly, but there was something else, too. Something I didn't want to admit. A strange curiosity, a flicker of something buried deep, as if the fabric was whispering secrets I didn't want to hear. A loud bang at the door snapped me out of it. Hey, Jamie, someone shouted from the hall. You better not be chickening out in there. Laughter followed, echoing cruelly. My heart pounded. They were waiting. Samantha was waiting. I couldn't do this. I couldn't walk out there like this. But the thought of her lifting her phone, showing everyone that photo, my desperate face, sweaty and pathetic, made my stomach twist. I had no choice. My trembling hand reached for the doorknob. When I opened it, the laughter from below surged up the stairs, louder now, like a tidal wave. Each step down felt heavier, the hem of the dress brushing against my thighs, reminding me with every movement of what I was wearing. The basement came into view. Heads turned. Conversation stopped. And then, explosions of laughter. Holy crap, one guy howled, slapping the table. No way, dude. Look at him. Ryan's jaw dropped. Then he laughed too, though his was softer, almost sympathetic. But Samantha, she didn't laugh. She smiled. A slow, satisfied curve of her lips as her eyes scanned me from head to toe. Well, she said, her voice dripping with mock admiration. Don't you look adorable? Heat flooded my face. I wanted to sink into the floor, to vanish, to wake up and realize this was just a nightmare. Spin for us, one of the guys jeered. Give us a twirl, another shouted. The chant started again, cruel and relentless. Twirl, twirl, twirl. Samantha raised her hand, and the room fell silent. Her control was terrifying. No, she said firmly. Not yet. Her eyes locked on mine, sharp and gleaming. First, I want you to thank me. I blinked. What? She tilted her head, feigning innocence. You lost, Jamie. I gave you something to wear. The least you can do is say thank you. Laughter bubbled around the table again. I shook my head, humiliated. This is insane. Her phone was suddenly in her hand, screen lighting up. She didn't even need to say anything. My voice cracked. Teach, thank you. What was that? She teased. My fists clenched. Thank you. Louder. My throat tightened. Thank you. The basement roared with laughter again, but Samantha's eyes never left mine. There was no humor in them, just power. She leaned back in her chair, satisfied. Good boy. Or should I say good girl? The laughter hit like knives. I swallowed hard, trembling, my face burning. And in that moment, staring at her across the room, I knew this was only the beginning. The laughter from the basement still echoed in my ears even after the noise began to die down. I stood there in the middle of the room, frozen in the spotlight of humiliation. My arms hung limp at my sides, the hem of the dress brushing nervously against my thighs as I shifted from foot to foot. The guys had gone back to their drinks and cards, though the occasional snicker or side glance reminded me I wasn't free of their mockery. But Samantha never took her eyes off me. She was sitting at the head of the poker table like a queen at her throne, her glass of wine glinting under the hanging light bulb. There was no cruelty in her expression now, just calculation, as if she were plotting her next move. And then she spoke. Come here, Jamie. Her tone was soft, sweet even, but it carried weight, like a leash tugging at my neck. I hesitated. Her eyebrow arched, and that was all it took. My feet carried me across the carpet, as if they belonged to her, not me. When I reached her, she patted the empty chair beside her. Sit. The dress tugged awkwardly as I lowered myself into the seat. I felt small, exposed, every inch of me screaming with discomfort. Samantha leaned closer, her perfume brushing against me, sharp and intoxicating. She lowered her voice, so only I could hear. You did well, Jamie, she murmured. But this, her eyes flicked over me. This is incomplete. My stomach nodded. Incomplete. A smile curled on her lips. She reached into her purse, sitting conveniently beside her chair, and pulled out a small, shiny pouch. She unzipped it with a deliberate slowness, revealing an array of brushes, lipsticks, powders, and compacts. Makeup. The sight made my blood run cold. The boys at the table noticed, and the laughter started up again. Oh, no way. She's not, she wouldn't. She is. Look at her. Samantha ignored them. She simply picked up a lipstick and twirled it between her fingers, watching me squirm. You can't wear a dress without the right face, she whispered, her voice syrupy sweet. It's like serving a cake without frosting. Pretty on the outside, but unfinished. I shook my head. No. Samantha, please. Her hand shot to her phone, resting on the table beside her. The threat was silent, but it was loud enough to choke me. Open your lips, she commanded softly. I froze. Every nerve in me screamed to resist, to shove her hand away, to rip the dress off, to run. But my body betrayed me. My lips parted, trembling. The lipstick brushed across them, smooth, silky, leaving behind a bold, glossy red. The color looked obscene against my pale skin, and neon signs screaming what I was becoming. The guys howled with laughter. Damn, he looks like a chick already. Pucker up, Jamie. Blow us a kiss. Each word was a dagger, but Samantha's hand never wavered. She leaned in close, her voice low and intimate, meant only for me. Look at them, she whispered. They're laughing at you, but I see something else. My chest tightened. What? Her smirk deepened. Potential. The words slithered into me, hot and confusing. She moved on with ruthless precision, powder dusting my cheeks, eyeliner tugging at my lids, mascara painting my lashes. Each stroke stole another piece of me. When she finally leaned back, she tilted my chin with her manicured finger and whispered, Now look. I turned toward the mirror on the basement wall, and my heart stopped. The boy I'd been just an hour ago was gone. In his place was something softer. A face that was almost pretty, the red lips drawing all the attention, the lashes framing wide, uncertain eyes. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't feminine enough to pass. But it was close. Close enough to terrify me. Samantha leaned close again, her breath brushing my ear. Say it. My voice cracked. Say what? Her smile sharpened. Say thank you for making you beautiful. The room spun with humiliation. My throat clenched, but the weight of her eyes and the quiet click of her phone left me no escape. Teach thank you, I whispered. Louder, she pressed. Thank you for making me beautiful. The basement erupted again, boys banging on the table, shouting, mocking. My face burned, shame clawing at my insides. But in the mirror, past the shame, past the humiliation, something stirred. A part of me that couldn't deny what I saw. Samantha's reflection met mine in the mirror. She smirked knowingly, as if she saw it too. She leaned close, whispering words that sent a shiver down my spine. Tonight was just a game, Jamie. But tomorrow? She paused, lips brushing against my ear. Tomorrow you'll dress for me again. I sat frozen in Emily's room, the lavender walls pressing down on me like I was already in a cage I couldn't escape. The silk robe she'd made me wear clung to my skin, smooth yet suffocating, every brush reminding me I wasn't supposed to feel it at all. Emily leaned back in her chair, legs crossed, arms folded, her grin sharp enough to cut me. Do you even understand what you've done, Alex? She asked, her voice calm, too calm. That was worse than shouting. I swallowed hard. It was just a game. Her laughter cut me off. A game? You sat down at my cousin's poker table, thought you were clever, thought you could bluff your way through. And now? You owe him $5,000. My stomach dropped. I can pay him back. I'll work extra shifts, Emily shook her head slowly, her eyes glinting.
No, sweetheart.
You can't. Because tonight, when you lost the final hand, you didn't just lose money. She leaned forward, her voice dropping to a whisper. You lost yourself. The room spun. My heart pounded so hard I thought I might faint. What are you talking about? She rose from her chair and walked toward me, heels clicking against the hardwood floor. Every step made me shrink back into the bed. She crouched down in front of me, lifting my chin with her perfectly manicured finger. The debt isn't being paid in cash, she whispered. It's being paid in surrender. My cousin doesn't care about the money. He wanted to humiliate you. And her smile widened, dark and sweet at the same time. I agreed to help him. Because watching you fall apart is going to be delicious. My throat tightened. This is insane. You can't. She pressed a finger to my lips, silencing me. Oh, I can. And I will. From tonight on, you'll be wearing dresses. Every single
day.
Until your debt is cleared. Her words slammed into me, like chains being locked. Dresses. Every day. My mind raced with images, skirts swishing around my legs, lipstick staining my mouth, people laughing, pointing, whispering behind their hands.
No.
No, I won't do it. My voice cracked, more a plea than a protest. Emily tilted her head, her smile never fading. Then maybe I'll just send these. She held up her phone, and my blood froze. On the screen was a picture she had taken just minutes ago. Me, sitting on her bed, wearing a silk robe, my face pale with fear, lips trembling. "If this gets out," she purred, "what will your friends think? What will your family say? What about your boss at the cafe?" I couldn't breathe. She had me cornered, every escape sealed. Emily straightened and smoothed her skirt, her tone suddenly brisk, like a teacher giving instructions. "You'll start tomorrow. A dress, makeup, heels. You'll practice walking, talking, smiling like a pretty little thing. And you'll do it in public." Tears burned at the corners of my eyes. "Why are you doing this to me?" For the first time, her smile faded into something colder. "Because, Alex, you've always walked around like you were invisible. Like you didn't matter. You think people see you as a man?" Her laugh was sharp. "They barely see you at all. But as a girl? Oh, they'll notice you. And you'll notice yourself. In ways you can't run from." The words dug deep, twisting into something I didn't want to admit. She was cruel, but part of me feared she was right. Emily leaned down, whispering in my ear so close I could smell her perfume. "By the time your debt is paid, you won't even remember what it felt like to be Alex. You'll only know what it feels like to be mine." She left me sitting there, trembling in her robe, staring at the photo she'd taken. My whole life had just been rewritten in a single night, and there was no way back. I barely slept that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Emily's smirk, her phone glowing in her hand like a weapon. My mind replayed her words over and over, every single
day.
By morning, my body felt heavy, as though chains were draped around me. I sat at the edge of my bed staring at the floor, whispering to myself, "It's just a game. It was supposed to be just a game." A sharp knock at the door snapped me out of my spiral. Emily's voice cut through the wood like a blade. "Rise and shine, princess. Your wardrobe is waiting." My stomach turned. I opened the door and found her holding a garment bag. She didn't wait for me to protest, just pushed past me, hung it on the closet handle, and unzipped it with a flourish. Inside hung a soft, flowing summer dress, pale pink with delicate white flowers embroidered along the hem. It was beautiful.
It was terrifying.
"No," I whispered, stepping back. "Emily, I can't." "You will." She pulled the dress out, the fabric catching the light. "Or, do you want this sent to your coworkers?" She dangled her phone in her other hand, reminding me of the picture. My chest caved in. I felt the walls closing around me. My voice was hoarse when I said, "I'll do it." Emily clapped her hands once, smiling like she'd just won a prize. "Good boy, no, good girl. Now, strip." Heat rushed to my face. "What? Clothes off. You're not putting this dress on over jeans." Her tone was matter-of-fact, but her eyes glittered with amusement. Shaking, I undressed, every piece of clothing I removed feeling like a piece of myself ripped away. When I stood in just my boxers, Emily handed me something small and silky. "Try these." I unfolded them, lace-trimmed panties, pale pink to match the dress. My hands shook so hard I nearly dropped them. "Please, Emily, don't make me." Her smile hardened. "You're already mine, Alex. Put them on." My body felt like it was on fire as I stepped into them. The fabric hugged my skin in ways I wasn't ready for, soft, delicate, humiliating. Emily tilted her head, examining me. "Pretty," she whispered, almost to herself. Then louder. "Now the dress." The moment the fabric slid over my body, I gasped. It was light, airy, yet clung in places I didn't want it to. The skirt swished around my thighs, brushing against my legs with every movement. I wasn't me anymore. I was something else. But Emily wasn't finished. From a makeup bag, she pulled out foundation, blush, mascara, lipstick. "Sit," she ordered, pointing to the chair. I obeyed like a puppet. She worked with practiced hands, humming as she painted over my face. Each stroke erased me further. My jaw softened with contour, my lashes lengthened, my lips stained a soft pink. When she finally held up a mirror, I almost didn't recognize myself. A trembling, doe-eyed girl stared back. This isn't me, I whispered. Emily leaned in close, her breath warm against my ear. It is now. But the true nightmare was still to come. Shoes, she said, placing a pair of nude heels at my feet. My legs wobbled the moment I stood, my balance foreign, my body no longer mine. Emily laughed softly, guiding me by the arm. We're going out, she said. My heart stopped.
What?
No, Emily, please, people will see me. That's the point. She grabbed her purse, already heading for the door. Time to introduce the new you to the world. Every step toward the mall felt like a death march. The click of my heels on the floor, the swish of the dress against my thighs, it was all too loud, too obvious. The mall was crowded, buzzing with weekend shoppers. My entire body burned with shame as eyes darted toward me. Were they staring? Did they know? Emily walked beside me, calm, graceful, her arm looped through mine as though we were girlfriends on a casual outing. Smile, she whispered. You're supposed to be enjoying this. But inside, I was crumbling. When she dragged me into a makeup store, the humiliation hit harder. The sales clerk looked me up and down, her smile polite, but her eyes curious. Looking for anything special today? She asked. Emily answered before I could breathe.
Yes.
My friend here needs a proper lipstick shade. Something that really brings out her eyes. Her. The word echoed in my skull. The clerk smiled at me knowingly, pulling me toward a display. You have such delicate features. You'd look gorgeous in a bold red. My knees shook. I wanted to disappear, to sink into the ground, but Emily's grip on my arm kept me standing. As the clerk applied the lipstick, I saw myself in the store mirror. A painted doll. A stranger. My lips gleaming crimson. And then, a group of boys my age passed by the store, laughing loudly. One of them glanced in, did a double take, and smirked. Damn, she's cute, he said to his friends. My entire body stiffened. He thought I was cute. Emily leaned in close, her whisper dripping with triumph.
See?
They like you. Maybe you like it too. I stared at my reflection, torn between shame, fear, and something far more dangerous. For the first time, a part of me wondered if she was right. The words, damn, she's cute, wouldn't leave my head. Even as Emily dragged me out of the makeup store, my pulse was still pounding. I wanted to scream. They thought I was a girl. They didn't see through me. How is that possible? But Emily's grip on my arm was firm, steering me down the bright mall corridor like I was a doll she owned. She didn't even look at me. Her smirk said everything. We stopped in front of a sleek, glass-fronted salon. The scent of hairspray and perfume leaked out the doors. Women sat inside with foil in their hair, their nails being painted, stylists laughing and chatting. My heart dropped. Emily, no. Not here.
Oh, yes.
Exactly here. She turned to me, brushing a strand of hair off my cheek. If you're going to look the part, your hair has to match. Boys' cuts don't suit dresses. I shook my head desperately. I'll never survive this. Please, I can't. Her smile sharpened. She lifted her phone just enough for me to see the edge of the photo glowing on the screen.
The dress.
The panties. Me, trapped in her web. Say no again, she murmured. And this picture is in the group chat before you blink. I froze. The blood drained from my face. I was caught. Completely, irreversibly caught. My legs felt like jelly as she pushed open the salon door. The receptionist looked up, smiled politely at us. Welcome. Do you have an appointment? Emily didn't miss a beat. For her, she said smoothly, nudging me forward. A makeover. Something softer, feminine, flattering. Her. The word hit like a knife to my ribs. The receptionist's eyes scanned me quickly, then softened. Of course. We can take her right away. Her. Again. Before I could breathe, I was guided into a chair in front of a huge mirror. Bright white lights illuminated my reflection. My dress. My painted lips. My trembling hands clutched tightly in my lap. I looked like a fraud sitting there, waiting to be exposed. But nobody said anything. The stylist, a bubbly woman with platinum hair, clapped her hands. Oh, You're adorable already. What are we doing today? Emily leaned over the chair. Soft curls. Something that frames her face. And maybe a gloss finish. The stylist nodded enthusiastically, already running her fingers through my hair. I wanted to shrink away, but the chair trapped me. Relax, sweetheart, she said kindly. You're going to look stunning. Sweetheart.
Stunning.
The words twisted inside me, painful and intoxicating at once. As the stylist worked, blow dryers and chatter filled the air. Women glanced at me between their own treatments, some smiling as though I was just another girl in the chair. No suspicion. No mockery. But that didn't make it easier. Every snip of the scissors felt like another piece of Alex, the boy I was falling away. Emily sat in the waiting area, legs crossed elegantly, her phone angled just enough that I could see the glow. Every time my eyes met hers, her smirk widened. She was enjoying this too much. When the stylist finished curling and styling, she spun the chair around to face the mirror fully. My breath caught. The person staring back wasn't me. Soft waves framed my face, cascading just past my shoulders. My features, already painted with makeup, looked sharper, yet softer, like I belonged in the skin. Oh, wow, the stylist said proudly. You look gorgeous. I shook my head in disbelief. I can't, that's not. Emily appeared behind me, placing her hands firmly on my shoulders, anchoring me. Her reflection smiled down at mine. That's exactly what you are. The stylist added the final touch, a delicate lip gloss, shimmering under the light. She tapped my chin playfully. There we go. Perfect.
Perfect.
My throat tightened. When Emily paid at the counter, I stood by the door, the curls brushing my cheek every time I moved. Every step in those heels, every swish of the dress, it no longer felt like a costume. It felt like something that was claiming me. On the way out, a teenage boy held the door for us. His eyes flicked to me, and he smiled shyly. You look nice, he muttered. It was simple, casual, but it broke me. I looked away quickly, heat rushing to my cheeks, shame boiling in my stomach. He thinks I'm pretty. Emily leaned close as we walked back into the crowd. Her whisper was silk, sharp as a blade. You felt it, didn't you? That rush when he called you nice? When the stylist called you gorgeous? I shook my head violently. No, I don't. Her hand squeezed my arm hard enough to sting. Stop lying to me. You liked it. Tears pricked my eyes. I hated her. I hated myself. And yet, my heart was still racing, my stomach still fluttering from that boy's glance. And I couldn't deny it, not even to myself. I thought the salon was the worst of it. I thought once my hair had been curled, glossed, and styled like some debutante, Emily would finally release me from her twisted game. I was wrong. She led me straight down the mall corridor, her heels clicking confidently, mine wobbling behind her. I could feel every curl of my styled hair brushing my cheek, every swish of the dress reminding me of what I had become. We stopped in front of a brightly lit clothing store, its windows plastered with mannequins in skirts, sundresses, and delicate lingerie. My stomach dropped. Emily, please. No more.
She didn't even look at me.
You're not finished. Her words were so calm, so absolute, that I couldn't argue. Inside, the store was a kaleidoscope of colors and fabrics. Racks of blouses, skirts, and lingerie stretched endlessly. Girls laughed as they tried on outfits together. The sales associate, a woman in her 30s with sharp eyeliner, greeted us with a smile. Looking for something in particular? She asked. Yes, Emily said smoothly, sliding an arm around my waist. We're shopping for her wardrobe. She's starting fresh. Her. Again. That word cut deeper every time. The associate's eyes scanned me once, then softened into approval. Perfect. You'll have fun today. Fun. If only she knew the hurricane inside me. Emily picked dresses like a predator choosing prey. She held them against me, tilting her head critically, ignoring my whispered protests. Each hanger felt like a nail in the coffin of who I used to be. A white sundress with a flared hem. A pencil skirt that screamed secretary. a set of lace panties that made my throat close, and then lingerie. My face burned as she dangled a satin bra in front of me. This one. Absolutely this one. Emily, I hissed under my breath. Stop. I can't. I'll never. Her hand brushed mine lightly, deceptively gentle. Her eyes locked on mine, the smile on her lips colder than ice. Remember what I have on my phone? The picture. My secret. My prison. I shut my mouth. The associate handed Emily a plastic tag. Here's a key for the fitting room. You two can take as long as you like. Before I could breathe, Emily was pushing me into a tiny room lined with mirrors. She dumped the pile of clothes onto the bench and closed the door behind us. My reflection stared back at me from every angle. Curled hair, glossy lips, the dress hugging my body. My eyes looked wide, frightened, trapped. Emily leaned against the door, arms crossed. Strip. The word hit like a gunshot. I froze. What? You heard me.
Take off the dress.
Put on the skirt.
The blouse.
The lingerie. All of it.
I want to see.
My hands trembled.
No.
Not here. What if someone? Her phone appeared in her hand, the corner of that cursed photo visible on the screen. Her thumb hovered above the send button. I broke. The zipper slid down my back. The dress fell to the floor. Standing there in just the bra Emily had forced on me earlier, my reflection looked obscene.
Wrong. Too smooth, too soft.
Emily's eyes roamed over me, satisfied. Good girl. The words hit me like a slap. But somewhere deep inside, a dangerous shiver ran through me. I pulled on the skirt. It clung to my hips, reshaping my body. The blouse buttoned high, its fabric delicate, almost see-through. Emily made me tuck it in, fussing over the fit like a tailor. Then came the lingerie. She held the satin bra out to me. Put it on properly this time. Adjust the straps. Make it fit. My face burned. My hands shook. But I obeyed. When it was done, she spun me toward the mirror. I didn't recognize myself. The skirt curved around my thighs. The blouse made my shoulders look narrower. My chest looked fuller with the bra underneath. And the hair, God, the hair framed everything perfectly. You're beautiful, Emily whispered, standing behind me. Her fingers trailed down my arm. No one would ever believe you're a boy. Tears welled in my eyes. I'm not a girl. I can't. Her reflection smirked at me. Then why does it suit you so well? I broke then. The tears spilled, blurring the mirror. Emily didn't comfort me. She didn't soften. She only held me tighter, her lips near my ear. This is who you are now. My doll. She kissed the side of my cheek lightly, and for one horrifying second, I didn't pull away. A knock came at the door. How's everything fitting in there? The sales associate called cheerfully. Emily's eyes gleamed. Answer her. My heart stopped.
No.
I can't. She'll know. Answer. Or I hit send. Her phone hovered in the corner of my vision like a loaded gun. I swallowed hard. My voice came out trembling, but higher than usual, almost breaking. It's good. Everything fits. Silence. Then the associate laughed. Wonderful. You sound adorable in there. I'll bring some more sizes, just in case. Emily grinned like a wolf. My entire body shook. She leaned down, whispering against my ear.
See?
Even your voice is learning. Soon it won't just be the clothes. It'll be you. And in that fitting room, surrounded by mirrors showing a girl I didn't want to be, but couldn't escape, I realized she might be right. I thought Emily would be satisfied after the fitting room humiliation, that I'd paid enough of her cruel toll to escape back into my clothes and anonymity. But Emily wasn't done. She never was. When the last button of the blouse was fastened and the skirt hugged my waist like a cage, she snapped a picture of me in the mirror. My eyes were red from crying, cheeks wet, lips trembling, but to her, it was a trophy. Perfect, she whispered. Now you're ready for the world. I shook my head frantically. Emily, no. Please. I can't go out like this. People will know. They'll laugh. They'll believe what I tell them, she cut in smoothly. And what they'll believe is that you're my cousin visiting from out of town. A little shy, a little nervous, but a girl. Her smile widened as my face drained of blood. And if you embarrass me out there, if you break character, everyone sees this. She waved her phone, the glowing photo on the screen threatening to detonate my life. My throat closed. There was no escape. She pushed the clothes I'd worn before, the jeans, the t-shirt, into the shopping bag and handed it to the associate. We'll take these too. For her. The woman nodded kindly, no suspicion in her eyes. To her, I was just another customer, another girl, and that illusion was what terrified me most. The mall stretched endlessly as Emily led me down its polished floors. Each step in the pencil skirt was a prison, forcing my hips into an awkward sway. My shoes, dainty flats she'd picked, slapped softly against the tiles. Every second I expected someone to stop me, to shout, "That's not a girl." But no one did. A boy about my age walked past, glancing at me. His eyes lingered for a beat longer than they should have. My stomach twisted. Was he looking at me, or at the lie I'd been forced into? Emily's smirk told me she noticed. She leaned close to my ear.
See?
He thought you were cute. My face burned hotter than fire. We stopped in front of a cafe with soft lights and a line of chatting college students. My heart sank. No, I whispered. Emily, please. Not here. Not in public. Her nails brushed my arm like a caress and a threat all at once. Exactly here. She dragged me inside. The air smelled of roasted coffee beans and sugar. The baristas wore bright smiles, scribbling names on cups as voices called out orders. Every noise felt magnified, every laugh aimed at me, though logically, I knew no one even noticed me.
Yet.
Emily guided me into the line, her hand tight on my back like I might bolt at any second. When it was our turn, the barista looked up. Hi, what can I get for you ladies? Ladies. The word hit me like a slap and a seduction all at once. Emily didn't answer. She turned, eyes locking onto mine. Go on. My blood froze. What? Order. For both of us. My stomach lurched. The barista was watching expectantly. People behind us shuffled impatiently. Emily's phone slid halfway out of her purse, the silent weapon ready to strike. I swallowed hard, forcing my voice higher, softer. See, can I get an iced latte? And a caramel macchiato. The barista nodded cheerfully. Of course. Name for the order. My heart pounded so hard I thought it might burst. My real name, Alex, balanced on the edge of my tongue like a razor. But Emily's stare burned through me, daring me to say it. I forced out the lie. Alexis. The word came out shaky. Feminine.
Wrong.
Yet it hung there between us, accepted without question. The barista scribbled it down, smiling. Cute name. That'll be right up. The world tilted. My knees went weak. Emily's lips brushed my ear as she guided me aside. Alexis. I like that. It suits you. I wanted to scream, to claw the name off my skin. But a tiny, dangerous shiver ran through me, because some part of me wondered if she was right. We waited for the drinks. Every second was agony. A group of students at the next table laughed together, their eyes occasionally flicking my way. Were they laughing at me?
Or at me?
When the barista finally called out, it wasn't my old name echoing through the cafe. It was the one Emily had branded me with. Order for Alexis. Emily grinned, squeezing my hand. That's you. Go get it. My legs shook as I walked to the counter, every eye in the cafe burning into me. The barista smiled warmly, sliding the drinks forward. Here you go, Alexis. Have a great day. My trembling hands accepted the cups. My mouth opened to say thank you, but instead of my old voice, what came out was soft, shy, unmistakably feminine. Thank you. The barista didn't flinch, didn't blink. She just smiled. And that was the moment I realized the terrifying truth. The world had accepted the lie. No one saw Alex anymore. Only Alexis. Emily leaned back in her chair, sipping her coffee like a queen surveying her kingdom. Her eyes glittered with triumph as I sat opposite her, clutching my cup with both hands to stop the shaking. "You did beautifully," she purred. No one suspected a thing. Tears pricked at my eyes. "Emily, this has to stop.
Please.
I'm not." "You are," she cut me off, her tone like velvet wrapped around steel. "And the more you fight it, the more you prove how perfect you are for this." Her phone buzzed on the table, the cursed photo glowing on the screen like a brand. "Drink up, Alexis," she said sweetly. "You're going to need the energy." This was just the beginning. Her smile was a promise, a threat, and I knew then my nightmare wasn't ending. It was only deepening. I couldn't sleep that night. The silky nightgown clung to my skin like a reminder of everything I was losing. Every time I shifted under the covers, the fabric whispered across my thighs, pulling me further away from who I thought I was. I kept replaying the game of poker in my head, the cards, the smirks, and Lily's voice saying, "If you lose, you play by my rules." I'd thought it was harmless.
A dare.
A joke. Nothing more. But as dawn crept through the curtains, reality was merciless. I padded barefoot to the mirror, my heart pounding, and when I saw myself, long hair extensions Lily had clipped in last night, faint traces of eyeliner smudged around my eyes, lips still stained with gloss, I didn't see Ethan. I saw someone softer. Someone vulnerable. Someone Lily could mold like clay. The kitchen smelled of coffee and toast when I walked in. Lily was already at the table, scrolling her phone, her nails painted a deep crimson that seemed to radiate authority. She looked up at me slowly, her smile sharp. "Well, look who's up. Did my little sister sleep well?" I froze. "Sister?" She gestured to the nightgown clinging to me. "What else should I call you when you're dressed like that?" Heat flushed my face. "Lily, I can't. You can. And you will." She slid a plate toward me.
Sit. Eat.
"We've got a busy day." The casual way she said it, like this was normal, made my chest ache with dread. After breakfast, she dragged me back into her room. A fresh arsenal of clothes lay on the bed, a baby blue sundress, white ankle socks with frills, and a matching bra and panty set I wished I hadn't noticed. "Do I have to?" My voice cracked. Lily leaned close, her perfume wrapping around me. "A bet's a bet. You lost. And if you want me to keep your little gambling problem a secret from the guys, you'll play along." My stomach dropped. She wouldn't. Except I knew she would. Lily never made empty threats. Her hands moved swiftly, pulling the gown over my head, leaving me shivering in only my boxers. Then, without hesitation, she tossed them aside and handed me the lingerie. "Put it on." My fingers trembled so badly, I could barely manage the clasp. She smirked, stepping behind me to help. The bra clicked shut, hugging my chest in a way that felt alien, foreign, wrong. And yet, as I looked at myself in the mirror, I couldn't look away. "Perfect," she whispered. "Now the dress." When the sundress slipped over my head and settled against my frame, I almost broke. I stared at my reflection, delicate, girlish, with fabric that swayed when I moved, and felt my old identity slipping further. "Where are we going?" I asked as she grabbed her purse. "The mall." "What?" "No, Lily, please." She cut me off with a finger pressed to my lips. "No arguments. You need practice walking in public. You can't hide forever." The ride, there was torture. Every stoplight felt like a spotlight, every glance from passing cars a threat. By the time we stepped inside, I thought my legs might give out. But Lily walked confidently, heels clicking, and I had no choice but to follow in my flat Mary Janes. People passed us, women, men, teenagers, and no one screamed, "That's a boy." That should have relieved me. Instead, it terrified me. Of course, Lily didn't take me shopping for her. She led me into a women's boutique and began pulling dresses from racks. "Try these on," she said, shoving armfuls into my hands. Inside the changing room, I thought I'd suffocate. Each dress was worse than the last. Floral prints, tight waists, skirts that spun when I moved. Lily made me step out after each one, twirling me in front of the saleslady who looked me up and down with a knowing smile. "She's adorable," the woman said. "She is, isn't she?" Lily agreed. "But she's shy." My face burned. The word she echoed in my head like a hammer. Hours later, my arms were heavy with shopping bags. My body felt weighed down not by the clothes, but by the image in my mind. The girl I saw reflected in every mirror, every store window, every polished surface. I was starting to believe it. When Lily leaned over during the drive home and said, "You looked beautiful today," something inside me cracked. I didn't know whether to scream, cry, or thank her. I thought maybe, just maybe, Lily would grow tired of her game after yesterday's humiliation at the mall. I hoped she'd laugh it off, let me change back into my old clothes and move on. But I should have known better. The morning started with her barging into my room, holding a pink shoebox. She dropped it onto the bed with a grin that made my stomach twist. "Rise and shine, little sister. It's time for your next lesson." I rubbed my eyes, groggy. Lesson. Walking in heels. The box held a pair of glossy black pumps with straps across the ankle. They gleamed like polished obsidian, delicate and dangerous. "No way," I muttered, pushing them aside. "I'll twist my ankle. Then you'll practice until you don't." Lily's tone left no room for argument. She sat on the edge of the bed, crossing her legs, perfectly at ease. "Come on. Show me how obedient my little doll can be." The word doll sent chills through me. With trembling hands, I buckled the straps around my ankles. The shoes felt alien, elevating me, forcing my calves to tighten. When I stood, my balance faltered, and I reached for the dresser. "Not bad," Lily said, biting her lip to hide a smirk. "Now walk." The first step was agony. My weight pitched forward, knees wobbling. Each clumsy movement made the hem of my borrowed dress sway. I wanted the floor to open and swallow me. Lily clapped slowly. "Grace, Ethan." "No, Grace, Emily. That's your name when you're dressed like this." I froze. "Emily."
Yes.
"Say it." I can't." Her eyes sharpened. "Say it." My throat tightened. "Emily." "Good girl." Something inside me cracked. The praise stung and soothed all at once. Later, she pulled me onto her vanity stool, spinning me toward the mirror. "If you're going to pass in public, you need more than clothes. You need a voice." My reflection stared back, foundation hiding stubble, lashes curled, lips glossed. I barely recognized myself. "Repeat after me," she instructed in a soft, lilting tone. "Hi, my name's Emily." I shook my head. "This is humiliating." "Humiliation is the point," she whispered in my ear. "It makes you pliable. Try again." I swallowed. "Hi, my name's Emily." It came out awkward, too deep. "Higher."
Softer.
"Like this," she demonstrated, then placed her hand lightly on my throat. "Feel the difference?" We repeated it over and over until my voice wavered towards something unfamiliar, fragile. When I finally managed, "Hi, my name's Emily," and it sounded almost believable, Lily's smile widened. "Perfect. You really are becoming her." I thought the day couldn't get worse. Then Lily announced, "We're getting your hair done." My heart thudded. Absolutely not. Absolutely yes. She held up her phone. "Unless you want me to text Jake and the guys about how you strutted around the boutique yesterday."
Jake.
My best friend. If he saw me like this, my life was over. 10 minutes later, I was sitting in a salon chair, a cape draped over me. The stylist, a cheerful woman named Sandra, fussed with my hair. "Growing it out, sweetie?" she asked casually. I glanced at Lily, who gave me a warning look. Yeah," I mumbled. Sandra grinned. "You'll look adorable with some layers and bangs." The scissors snipped, blow-dryers whirred, and soon I was staring at a reflection I didn't recognize, soft bangs framing my face, subtle waves giving me a distinctly feminine silhouette. Lily clapped her hands. "Emily, you're gorgeous." The stylist beamed. "Emily?" Lovely name. It suits you. The words burned. They shouldn't have mattered. But they did. That evening, back in my room, I sat in front of the mirror, tracing the shape of my new bangs with trembling fingers. I whispered my real name.
Ethan.
It felt heavy, clumsy. Then I whispered the other. Emily. It felt lighter. Tears blurred my reflection. I didn't know who I was anymore. And just when I thought I couldn't sink deeper, Lily knocked softly and peeked in. You did so well today, she said. I'm proud of you. I wanted to scream at her, but instead, my throat tightened with something worse. Relief. Relief that someone was guiding me, even if it meant tearing me apart. I thought maybe Lily would give me a break after yesterday's ordeal. The heels, the voice lessons, the salon. My body ached from walking wrong. My throat was raw from trying to sound like Emily, and every time I caught sight of my new bangs, my stomach twisted. But Lily wasn't the type to let things rest. By evening, she appeared in my doorway holding up a floral dress with a square neckline. It looked too nice, like something someone would wear to a family gathering. Put this on, she said casually, like she was asking me to brush my teeth.
Why?
I asked warily. Because we're going to dinner. My chest clenched.
No.
No way. I'm not. Do you remember the salon? She cut me off smoothly. Sandra called you Emily. Everyone believed it. Tonight, we'll see if you can handle strangers for longer than 5 minutes. I hesitated, but the threat was always there, her finger hovering over her phone, ready to tell my friends everything. So I dressed. The dress clung to my body in ways I didn't want to think about. Lily helped zip it up, then pushed me into the vanity chair. You need makeup. Otherwise, you'll look like a boy in a dress. I flinched as she brushed powder across my cheeks, darkened my lashes, and painted my lips with a soft pink gloss. She was meticulous, humming softly, like an artist at work. There, she whispered when she finished, tilting my chin toward the mirror. The reflection staring back wasn't Ethan. Not anymore. It was Emily. And she looked nervous, pretty, breakable. Lily drove us to a quiet Italian restaurant across town. The entire ride, my palms sweated, my knees pressed together. What if someone recognizes me? I whispered. Then they'll just see a shy girl named Emily. She smirked. Relax. No one is looking for Ethan tonight. Her words should have reassured me. Instead, they hollowed me out. The hostess greeted us with a smile. Table for 2? Yes, Lily said brightly. For me and my sister. My heart nearly stopped. Sister? The hostess turned to me. She's adorable. You both look alike. I forced a weak smile, my voice trembling. Hitch, thank you. She didn't blink. She didn't question. She just led us to a booth. And in that moment, my world cracked. If a stranger could believe it so easily, what did that say about me? Halfway through dinner, Lily leaned in. You're doing well, Emily. But now let's raise the stakes. My fork froze. What do you mean? She nodded toward the table beside us. A group of college guys, laughing, drinking. Go ask them for the time. I nearly choked. Are you insane? Do it, she whispered, her eyes gleaming. Or I send Jake a picture of you in that dress. I stared at her, panic flooding me. She had me cornered, again. My legs trembled as I stood, heels clicking against the polished floor. Every step toward that table felt like walking a tightrope over fire. Excuse me, I stammered, forcing my voice higher, softer. Do you know what time it is? One of the guys grinned, checking his watch. It's 8:30. He winked. Cute accent, by the way. My face burned. Thank you. I fled back to the booth, my heart pounding so hard I thought it would burst. Lily sipped her wine, smirking.
See?
They didn't suspect a thing. In fact, they thought you were cute. Her words sliced me open. Because deep down, a tiny, traitorous part of me liked it. Back in the apartment, I headed straight for my room, wanting nothing more than to tear the dress off and forget the entire night. But Lily followed me in, arms folded, that maddening smirk on her lips. You were incredible tonight, Emily, she said. You had them fooled. More than fooled. They thought you were pretty. My chest tightened. Stop saying that.
Why?
She tilted her head. Isn't it better to be pretty than pathetic? Her words hit harder than I wanted to admit. Later, when Lily finally left me alone, I stood in front of the mirror. The girl looking back wasn't Ethan. Not the Ethan I'd grown up with. The one with messy hair, uneven stubble, and a slouch that screamed invisibility. No, this was someone else. Emily. Her bangs framed her soft face. Her lips shone with faint pink gloss. The floral dress hugged her curves, curves that weren't supposed to exist. I touched the mirror, fingers trembling. That's not me, I whispered. But the mirror disagreed. My throat burned. My chest heaved. Tears blurred the reflection until Emily's face melted into a smear of pink and shadow. I slid down to the floor, curling into myself. I'm losing it, I whispered. I'm not a girl. I'm not her. But deep down, the doubt gnawed. If I wasn't her, why did strangers believe it so easily? Why did I remember the boy at the restaurant calling me beautiful and feel something other than disgust? The tears wouldn't stop. The door creaked open. Lily stepped inside, quiet, deliberate. She found me crumpled against the mirror, dress wrinkled, makeup smudged. Oh, Emily, she sighed, crouching down. She brushed a tear from my cheek with her thumb, her tone mock gentle. You're beautiful even when you cry. I shoved her hand away weakly. Stop calling me that. I'm not Emily. Yes, you are. Her eyes gleamed. Ethan is fading.
He's weak.
Emily is the one surviving. Tonight proved it. That's not true, I said, voice cracking. Then look in the mirror again, she whispered. Tell me, who do you see? I couldn't. My throat closed up, my body trembling too much. Lily's tone hardened. Listen carefully. You lost the poker game. This isn't just fun for me, it's the rules. And rules don't get broken without consequences. I swallowed hard. What consequences? Her lips curled. If you resist me again, I'll make sure everyone knows. Pictures, videos. You'll be the joke of campus. But if you obey, you'll be safe. You'll be protected. The cruel sweetness in her voice twisted my insides. She wasn't just forcing me anymore. She was making me depend on her. The next morning, I woke to the sound of my door unlocking. Lily stepped in, holding a shopping bag with deliberate grace. Rise and shine, Emily, she chirped, sunlight spilling in behind her. I groaned, pulling the blanket over my head. Don't call me that. The blanket was yanked away in an instant. Lily's sharp gaze pinned me down. Get up. We're going shopping. My chest tightened.
Shopping?
For what? She tossed the bag onto the bed. Out spilled a pair of nude stockings and a pink cardigan. For your new wardrobe. You can't wear my hand-me-downs forever. I sat up, panic rising.
No.
No way.
People will see me.
They'll laugh. Exactly, she cut in, her smile curling like smoke. That's the point. Within an hour, I was dressed in a soft lavender blouse tucked into a short floral skirt, my legs smooth from last night's shave, my feet slipped into modest wedges that clicked with every nervous step. Lily stood behind me at the mirror, adjusting my hair with practiced ease.
See?
You don't even look nervous. You look pretty. The word lodged in my throat. My hands twisted in the hem of my skirt. I can't go out like this. Not in public. Lily's eyes met mine in the mirror. You can. And you will. Or I send those photos to your boss. The car felt like a prison. Every stoplight, every passing car, I swore people were staring through the glass. My cheeks burned, my hands trembling in my lap. Lily, on the other hand, hummed along to the radio, completely at ease. You'll thank me one day, she said casually, turning the wheel. I nearly laughed at the absurdity. Thank you? For what? For destroying me? She smirked, eyes flicking to me. For freeing you. Ethan was invisible. Emily turns heads. Her words sent a shiver down my spine. Because part of me knew she was right. Last night, people had noticed me. The mall doors opened, and cool air washed over me, carrying the scent of coffee, perfume, and polished tile floors. The sound of chatter echoed all around. Every step I took felt like stepping into a spotlight. My skirt swayed against my thighs, the click of my wedges betraying me. My pulse hammered in my ears. "Relax," Lily whispered, linking her arm with mine. "Smile, Emily. Pretty girls smile." I tried, lips twitching into a stiff curve. I thought we'd head into a clothing store. Jeans, maybe tops. Something manageable. But Lily steered me straight into a lingerie boutique. I froze at the entrance.
No.
"Lily, please." She tugged me forward with a laugh. "Don't be shy. You'll need bras, panties, maybe something lacy. A secretary can't go without the basics." Heat exploded across my face. I wanted to vanish. Inside, racks of lace, silk, and satin surrounded me. Bras dangled from hooks like mocking smiles. Mannequins in corsets and garters posed shamelessly. The clerk, a cheerful woman with bright lipstick, approached. "Can I help you two ladies today?" My throat closed. My heart stopped. She called me a lady. Lily answered smoothly, not missing a beat.
Yes.
"My friend here is building her wardrobe. She'll need a full set." The clerk's eyes swept over me, kind but curious. "First time shopping for yourself?" I nodded weakly, unable to form words. Minutes later, I stood in a tiny dressing room, holding a bundle of pastel lingerie. Lily leaned against the door, arms folded, smirking. "Try them on," she ordered. "I can't," I whispered, my hands shaking. "You can, and you will, or I'll open this door and let everyone see you hesitate." Tears stung my eyes. My fingers fumbled with the straps, sliding the bra over my chest, the panties up my legs. When I turned to the mirror, my breath caught. The boy was gone. The girl staring back wore lace and blush, her legs smooth, her figure softened by illusion. For a terrifying, fleeting moment, I didn't look ridiculous. I looked almost believable. Lily slipped inside, her eyes sweeping over me like I was hers to inspect. Her lips curved. "Beautiful," she whispered. The words shot through me like a blade and a caress all at once. I wanted to scream. I wanted to believe her. I wanted both. The next morning, I woke to the faint smell of perfume clinging to my pillow. It wasn't mine, at least not originally. But as I sat up, hair tumbling in soft curls from the rollers Clara had forced me to sleep in, I realized how quickly that line was blurring. My reflection in the vanity across the room looked like a half-finished canvas. Traces of mascara smudged under my lashes, lips still faintly tinted from last night's gloss. I rubbed at my mouth, but the color refused to disappear. It was as though femininity itself had sunk into my skin. "Rise and shine, princess," Clara's voice rang from the doorway. She leaned casually against a frame, already dressed in a silky robe that clung to her figure. "We've got a big day planned." My stomach tightened. "Clara, I can't keep doing this every day. Last night was bad enough." She walked over, her heels clicking on the hardwood, and ran a manicured finger under my chin, tilting my face up to hers. "Bad?
You mean electrifying."
Don't lie, sweetheart. I saw how your eyes lit up when those men whistled. You hated yourself for it, but your body betrayed you." Her words pierced me, leaving me speechless. She grinned. "Today we're taking it further. Full face, full outfit. I want you to see just how perfect you can be." Before I could protest, she dragged me to the vanity and sat me down. Clara laid out her weapons: foundation, concealer, powders, palettes, brushes in every shape. The sight alone made my pulse quicken. "First rule," she said, sweeping my hair back with a pink headband, "you don't flinch. No whining, no, but Clara, you sit still and let me create." I swallowed hard but nodded. The first touch was shockingly cold, a sponge damp with foundation pressed against my cheek. It spread like a mask, erasing stubble, smoothing out every imperfection. For 20 minutes she worked silently, her movements precise. She applied contour, sculpting shadows until my jawline softened, my nose narrowed, my cheeks looked sharp and delicate. Look at you, Clara murmured, dusting blush high on my cheeks. Already vanishing. I dared a glance in the mirror. She was right. My face wasn't mine anymore. Each stroke pushed me further away from the boy I'd always been. Then came the eyes. Liquid liner traced delicate wings that elongated my gaze. Mascara thickened my lashes until they brushed my brows. She leaned in close, her perfume intoxicating, her voice low.
Don't blink.
Pretty girls don't flinch. By the time she swiped the final layer of gloss across my lips, shiny, plump, rose-colored, I felt dizzy. A stranger stared back from the mirror. Not just a stranger, a girl. Perfect, Clara sighed, stepping back. But makeup is only half the transformation. Now comes the real test. She pulled a garment bag from the closet and unzipped it slowly, teasing me with glimpses of satin and lace.
My throat went dry.
Inside was a dress, pale lavender, delicate spaghetti straps, fitted bodice with a sweetheart neckline, the skirt flaring into layers of chiffon. It looked like something a bridesmaid might wear to a summer wedding. Feminine, soft, inescapable. No, I whispered. Clara, please, that's too much. I'll look ridiculous. She smiled coldly. You'll look exquisite. Put it on. When I hesitated, she stepped closer, her hand gripping my chin tighter this time. Don't forget the bet. Every refusal adds another week. Are you really ready to drag this out longer? Defeated, I let her strip me down and slide the dress over my body. The satin hugged my chest, the zipper closing with a finality that stole my breath. She added a padded bra beneath, filling the bodice until I had the curves to match. Stockings clung to my legs, silky and fragile, and finally, she slipped pastel heels onto my feet. Standing was torture. The heels pitched me forward, forcing my hips to sway as Clara circled me like a predator admiring her prey. Spin, she commanded. I turned awkwardly, the skirt swirling, my face burning. Again. Each spin left me dizzier, not from the motion but from the way she looked at me. Like I was hers. Like I had always been hers. Finally, Clara led me back to the mirror and placed both hands on my shoulders. There she is, she whispered. I gasped. The girl in the reflection wasn't me.
She couldn't be.
Lavender dress, glossy lips, soft curls falling past her shoulders. She was delicate, radiant, beautiful in a way I had never imagined. And yet her eyes were mine. My chest tightened painfully. That's not me, I whispered. Clara leaned down, lips brushing my ear. It is. And the sooner you stop fighting her, the sooner she'll set you free. I shook my head, tears threatening. But deep inside, a traitorous spark flickered, the smallest, most terrifying thought.
What if Clara was right?
The sound of the doorbell echoed like a death sentence. My heart pounded so hard I thought the satin fabric of the lavender dress might burst apart. Clara, no, I whispered, clutching the chiffon skirt in trembling fists. Please don't. Don't let anyone see me like this. She glanced back with a wicked sparkle in her eye. Sweetheart, that's the entire point. Before I could scramble for a hiding spot, the door creaked open. I half hid behind the vanity, my pulse roaring in my ears. Clara, a bright, confident voice filled the apartment. I brought the wine like you asked. I froze. It was Maya, her best friend. The girl who'd teased me countless times at parties, the one with sharp eyes and a sharper tongue. The click of heels announced her arrival into the room. And then her voice cut like glass.
Oh, my God.
I turned slowly, praying it wasn't as bad as it sounded. It was worse. Maya stood in the doorway, a bottle of red wine dangling carelessly from her hand, her mouth falling open before twisting into a grin. She looked me up and down. Curls, glossy lips, lavender satin, padded chest, trembling legs and stockings. Clara, Maya's grin widened. You didn't tell me you had a new roommate. Heat scorched my face. I tried to speak, but the words stuck like glue in my throat. Clara sauntered over, draping an arm around Maya's shoulder. Meet Lila, she said smoothly. Isn't she darling? Lila. My knees nearly buckled at the sound of it. Maya let out a low whistle. Darling? She's a doll. Look at those legs. She circled me slowly, predator circling prey, her eyes drinking me in with cruel delight. I never thought he had this in him. I wanted to disappear, to sink into the floorboards, but Clara's grip on my arm kept me rooted. Spin for her, princess, Clara purred. My lips parted in protest. Clara, don't. Spin. Her voice sharpened, brooking no refusal. Shaking, I turned, chiffon fluttering around my thighs. Maya clapped her hands like she was at a fashion show. Perfect, she laughed. You're prettier than half the girls at our sorority mixers. Who did your makeup? Me, of course, Clara said smugly. Maya leaned close, tilting my chin up with a single finger. Her perfume was spicy, intoxicating, and her eyes glimmered with mischief. Well, Clara outdid herself. You almost look natural. Almost. That word sliced deeper than anything else. The girls settled in with their wine, leaving me standing awkwardly in the middle of the room. My heels ached, my bra straps dug into my shoulders, and every laugh they shared felt like a dagger. To new beginnings, Maya declared, raising her glass toward me. To Lila, the prettiest girl in the room. Clara's smirk never faded. I'll drink to that. I wanted to scream that I wasn't Lila, that I wasn't a girl, that this was all wrong, but the words wouldn't come. A part of me knew, deep down, that if I shouted, they would only laugh harder. So I stood there, cheeks burning, as they toasted to my humiliation. Later, when Clara dragged me to the bathroom to freshen up, I caught sight of myself in the mirror again. Lila. Maya's voice echoed in my head. You almost look natural. Almost. The word twisted something inside me. Because for the briefest moment, I wished it hadn't been almost. I wished it had been true. And that terrified me more than anything. The morning air felt heavier than ever. My stomach churned as Clara laid out the outfit across my bed like a ritual sacrifice. A pastel, yellow sundress, white cardigan, stockings, kitten heels. Every piece whispered feminine, delicate, exposed. I shook my head frantically. Clara, please. Not outside. Not like this. Her lips curled into that infuriating smirk. Sweetheart, you've been hiding behind these walls for too long. Time to see how well Lila does in daylight. But Maya, already waiting for us at the cafe. Clara snapped her compact shut and crossed her arms. You lost the bet. You know the rules. I felt the words choke me. The rules. The ones she had made, the ones that slowly chipped away at who I thought I was. I sat there like a mannequin as Clara brushed soft pink blush across my cheeks and painted gloss over my lips. There, she whispered, stepping back to admire her work. You look like the sweetest girl who ever lived. I swallowed hard, staring at the mirror. The girl staring back at me, Lila, looked nervous but believable. My Adam's apple bobbed, but the cardigan framed my neck, hiding it. My hair, curled into soft waves, brushed my shoulders. When Clara slipped a dainty necklace around my throat, I gasped. It's a symbol, she said softly, fastening the clasp. Today you're mine. The hallway outside our apartment seemed louder than ever. The slam of doors, the chatter of neighbors, the creak of the elevator. Every sound felt like a spotlight. I clutched Clara's arm, my heels wobbling with each step. Don't grip me like I'm saving your life, she whispered with amusement. Relax. Girls glide. I tried. I really did. But each step felt like walking into quicksand. My stockings clung to my thighs, the sundress swished around my knees, and my heart wouldn't slow down. And then we stepped out into the sunlight. The cafe was only 3 blocks away, but each one stretched like a mile. My senses overloaded. The whistle of a man on a bicycle as we crossed the street. The group of teenage girls giggling as they glanced my way. The elderly woman who smiled kindly and said, "What a pretty young lady."
Pretty.
The word lit me on fire and froze me at the same time. Was she talking about me? Maya was already there, waving from a corner table on the patio, her grin devilish. She wore a red dress that clung to her like confidence itself. "There she is," she sang as we approached. "My favorite little doll." My cheeks burned. A couple sitting nearby turned to look, their eyes sliding over me with curiosity. I wanted the ground to swallow me whole. Maya leaned close, her perfume intoxicating, and whispered, "You pass better than I expected. Don't worry, half these people think you're just another shy girl."
Half. The word gnawed at me.
Which half didn't. The waiter arrived, a young man with kind eyes and a polite smile. "What can I get for you ladies?" Ladies. The word struck me like lightning. My lips parted, but no sound came out. My hands shook under the table. Clara saved me, ordering chamomile tea for my sister. Maya smirked behind her glass of wine. But the waiter, he looked directly at me, his gaze lingering just a little too long. "Anything else for you, miss?"
Miss.
For the briefest moment, warmth spread through my chest. Until Maya laughed, kicking me under the table. "She's shy, isn't she? Isn't that adorable?" Halfway through the tea, I excused myself to the bathroom. In the mirror, I saw a girl, soft, trembling, but undeniably feminine. "Who are you?" I whispered. The girl in the reflection didn't answer. She just stared back with wide, frightened eyes rimmed in eyeliner. When I emerged, Maya and Clara were waiting. "We're not done yet," Clara said, looping her arm through mine. "You did fine in the cafe. Time for something bigger." "Bigger?" My voice cracked. Maya's grin widened. "The mall. Let's see how Lila handles shopping in broad daylight." My legs nearly gave out. The cafe had been bad enough, but the mall? Hundreds of people? I shook my head.
No.
"Please, not there." Clara's grip tightened, nails grazing my skin. "Lila, you don't get a choice." The mall loomed ahead like a glittering fortress of glass and steel. For most people, it was a place of leisure, noise, and weekend distraction. For me, in a sundress and kitten heels, it was a battlefield. My pulse thundered in my ears. The automatic door slid open, releasing a wave of cool, perfumed air and the chatter of crowds. I froze just beyond the threshold. Clara gave my hand a squeeze, her smile deceptively gentle. "Relax, Lila. Nobody's going to bite." Maya snorted. "Not unless they mistake her for a snack." The comment earned a laugh from Clara, but my stomach knotted tighter. The click of my heels on polished tile echoed too loudly. Every sound seemed amplified. Children laughing, a teenager's phone buzzing, the distant thump of music from a store. And then the eyes, so many eyes. I felt them on me, grazing my figure, weighing my presence. Were they seeing a girl? Or a boy in costume? Clara leaned close, whispering, "Keep your chin up. Girls don't skulk."
Glide.
So I tried, forcing my legs to move gracefully, swinging my hips just slightly. The stockings clung to my thighs, the sundress brushed against my knees, and the necklace at my throat felt heavier with every step. "Victoria's Secret," Maya announced, dragging me toward the gleaming entrance. My blood turned to ice.
No.
"Not here." I hissed, resisting. "Please, anywhere else." But Clara's nails grazed my wrist, her voice velvet and steel. "You want people to believe you're a girl, don't you? Then this is exactly where you belong." Inside, the air was thick with perfume and silk. Mannequins in lace stared down at me like smug queens. A saleswoman with a headset approached, her smile warm. "Welcome, ladies. Looking for anything in particular?" Her eyes flicked over me, lingering, assessing. My breath caught. "Yes," Maya purred. "Something delicate. Something that will really bring out her curves." She gestured right at me. I wanted to die. Moments later, I was shoved into a fitting room, arms piled high with lace and satin. Clara closed the door behind me, her eyes gleaming. "Try them. All of them. And don't come out until you've picked one." The mirror in the fitting room was merciless. I stripped, trembling, sliding into the first piece, a soft pink baby doll slip. The fabric hugged my skin, clinging to the shape of my chest, my waist, my thighs. For a moment, I didn't see a boy. I saw a fragile, Nervous girl. My chest tightened. Is this me? Then Clara's voice cut through. Come out and show us. My knees nearly buckled. The curtain slid aside, and I stumbled forward under the blinding lights. Maya's grin spread like fire. Clara tilted her head, studying me like an artist judging her work. Not bad, Clara murmured. Turn around. Slowly. I obeyed, cheeks blazing, as a couple of other shoppers passed by, their eyes flicking toward me. One girl whispered to her friend, giggling. My ears burned. But then the saleswoman appeared again, her smile approving. That's a lovely color on you. Really suits your figure. Lovely. The word hit me like lightning, sending a rush of heat straight through me. Back inside the fitting room, I pressed my palms to the mirror. My reflection stared back, lip gloss gleaming, cheeks flushed, lace hugging every curve Clara and Maya had forced me into. Who are you? I whispered, my voice trembling. But this time, the reflection didn't feel like a stranger. It felt closer. The lingerie bag swung from my hand like a brand of shame as Clara marched me toward the glowing heart of them all, the makeup counters. I froze when I saw them. Bright lights, mirrors that made every flaw impossible to hide, and women behind counters armed with brushes, bottles, and sharp eyes. It was a battlefield, and I was about to be stripped bare under their scrutiny. Clara, please, I whispered, tugging at her sleeve. This is too much. People will see. They're supposed to, she cut in smoothly. You're not hiding anymore, Lila. You're learning. Maya smirked. And we're gonna make you drop-dead gorgeous. Don't fight it. The first consultant was a tall woman with slick hair and crimson lips. She looked me over with practiced precision. First time? She asked, a knowing smile playing on her face. I wanted to sink into the floor. But Clara jumped in. Yes, it's her first makeover. She's been shy about exploring her femininity. Today, we're helping her embrace it. Her femininity. Every word felt like a hammer breaking my old self apart. The consultant's smile softened. Oh, honey, don't be nervous. You're going to look stunning. And then I was in the chair, my heart pounding as she clipped my hair back. Foundation brushed across my cheeks, cool and smooth. Concealer dabbed under my eyes. My skin transformed from blotchy and uneven into a porcelain canvas. Eyeshadow followed, soft pinks blended into smoky edges. Mascara lengthened my lashes until my own eyes startled me from the mirror. Beautiful shape, the consultant murmured. You've got eyes women would kill for. A tremor ran through me. The words dug into the part of me that had secretly wanted this, wanted to be seen as beautiful, wanted someone to notice. Finally, lipstick. A glossy rose, shimmering under the lights. When the consultant leaned back, I barely breathed.
There, she said.
Look at yourself. I turned toward the mirror.
And gasped.
The person staring back at me wasn't Alex anymore. She was softer, her cheekbones sharper, her lips plump and kissable. She looked like she belonged in this mall, shopping, laughing, living. Like she'd always been here. My throat tightened.
This isn't me.
It can't be me. But Clara's hand landed on my shoulder, warm and firm. See, Lila? This is who you were meant to be. The reflection in the mirror smiled faintly back at me, as though agreeing. Next, Maya dragged us into a glossy shoe boutique. Rows of stilettos gleamed like traps. Try these, she demanded, thrusting a pair of nude pumps into my hands. I wobbled as I slipped them on, my legs trembling. Each step was a battle between gravity and dignity. A salesgirl clapped softly. You're a natural, sweetie.
Sweetie.
The word landed like a spark on dry kindling. I caught sight of myself in a wall mirror, makeup flawless, dress swishing, heels clicking. I looked like I belonged, like I wanted to belong. The Saturday morning light slanted through the blinds in thin, golden strips, painting my bedroom in uneven bands. I had slept poorly, twisting between dreams where I was back at the poker table as Ethan, and waking realities where the only thing waiting for me were rows of dresses, neatly hung and pressed by Claire. I sat up slowly, rubbing at my eyes, only to see the pale pink nightdress I had gone to bed in shift against my thighs. My reflection in the mirror across the room looked soft. My hair was brushed into waves from last night's curling session. My face was still faintly tinted from the makeup I hadn't completely removed. And worst of all, my heart gave a quick, shameful flutter before sinking into dread. Still you, I whispered to myself. Still Ethan. Don't forget that. But the knock on the door reminded me how little of that was under my control anymore. Claire entered without waiting for permission, carrying a shopping bag. She beamed at me like a proud parent. Rise and shine, princess. We've got a busy day. I swallowed. Busy. She placed the bag on my bed and started unpacking. A fitted plaid skirt, a soft white blouse with puff sleeves, and a pair of shiny black flats.
Mall day.
You've been practicing at home, but it's time to see if you can keep it together in the real world. Don't worry, everyone will just think you're my pretty friend. My stomach twisted. The idea of stepping outside, into the noise and chatter of strangers, while dressed like this, it felt like throwing myself into a pit of lions. I'm not ready, I murmured, shaking my head. Please, Claire. Not yet. Her eyes hardened in that way I had grown to fear. She stepped close, gripping my chin and tilting it up. You weren't ready for poker night either, but you played. And you lost. This is your hand now, Ethan. So you'll dress up and smile for the world, or... She leaned in close, her voice a venomous whisper. Or I'll make sure everyone knows why you suddenly disappeared from the table. Every one of your secrets spilled. The reminder made my insides go cold. She wasn't bluffing. She never bluffed. By noon, I was walking stiffly beside her through the bustling corridors of the shopping center, the plaid skirt brushing against my thighs, the blouse tucked neatly, and my hands clutching a small purse she had forced on me. Every pair of footsteps, every distant laugh, every glance from passing strangers made me want to crawl into myself and vanish. Claire walked like she owned the floor, graceful and effortless. She would loop her arm through mine occasionally, giving it a squeeze, like we were sisters on a casual outing. Relax, she whispered once, when she caught me glancing nervously at a group of teenage girls. They're checking you out because you look cute. Take it as a compliment. But it didn't feel like a compliment. It felt like exposure. Like my disguise would slip at any second, and they would laugh until I drowned in shame. We stopped at a boutique. Claire swept me inside, pulling dresses from racks and holding them against my frame. Too plain. Too loud. Ah, this one. Try this. She shoved a silky lavender dress into my arms and pointed toward the fitting room. Inside, under the harsh fluorescent light, I stared at myself. My hands trembled as I slipped into the dress, the fabric whispering against my skin. It clung in ways that made me look even less like Ethan, more like someone I wasn't sure I recognized. And then, as I turned, the curtain pulled back. Ethan? The voice froze me solid. Standing there, wide-eyed, was Marcus, my best friend since middle school. The guy I used to spend whole nights gaming with, the one who would cheer me on during poker tournaments. I opened my mouth, but no sound came out. The mirror showed me the truth. The lavender dress, the curled hair, the makeup. Marcus's jaw tightened, confusion and something like hurt flashing across his face. What the hell is this? Marcus didn't blink. His eyes stayed locked on me, hard and searching, while the whole fitting room seemed to shrink around us. The silence pressed in, so heavy I could hear my own heartbeat echoing in my ears. I clutched the hem of the lavender dress, knuckles white. My voice stuck in my throat. How could I explain this? How could I possibly tell him that one stupid poker game had ended with me standing here, painted, polished, and trembling? Claire broke the silence first, stepping smoothly between us with the grace of someone who thrived in moments like these. Marcus, really, she said with a playful laugh. You look like you've seen a ghost. This is Evelyn, my cousin. She's visiting for a while. Marcus didn't laugh. His brow furrowed, his jaw working like he was biting back words. Evelyn. His gaze darted back to me, lingering on the curve of my waist, the slight shake in my legs, the desperate flicker in my eyes. She looks familiar. I swallowed hard. My lips trembled, but nothing came out. I couldn't lie convincingly. Not to Marcus. Not when he knew me better than anyone. Claire placed a firm hand on my back, subtly pushing me forward. "Say hello, Evelyn," she coaxed, her voice coated with sugary sweetness, but her nails digging lightly into my spine, a quiet threat. I forced the word out, barely more than a whisper. Hi. It sounded wrong, thin, fragile. Marcus tilted his head, suspicion tightening. "Hi," he repeated slowly.
Right.
"Evelyn." He crossed his arms, studying me. "Strange. You remind me of someone I used to know." My chest ached. He knew. Maybe not all of it. Not yet, but he felt the truth lurking beneath. Claire leaned in with a practiced smile. "You probably see a resemblance because Evelyn's side of the family has strong features. Happens all the time." Marcus didn't look convinced. His gaze stayed fixed on me, like he was waiting for me to crack. Later, as Claire hustled me out of the store with a bag of clothes, I could feel Marcus's eyes burning into my back. Every step I took felt heavy, my legs weak under the weight of his suspicion. Once we were outside, away from his line of sight, I spun on Claire, my voice breaking. "Why did you do that? Why didn't you let me explain?" Her laugh was sharp, dismissive. "Explain? Oh, sweetheart. What would you have said? Hey, Marcus, it's me, Ethan. I lost a poker game, and now I'm your buddy in a dress?" He would have laughed, or worse, he would have tried to save you. And I'm not letting that happen. Tears stung my eyes. He's my best friend. He deserves to know the truth. Claire stepped closer, her hand cupping my cheek with a mock tenderness that twisted like a knife.
No.
He deserves to believe what I tell him. And you, her eyes flashed with something dark, you deserve to understand that the more you fight, the more I'll tighten the leash. Her words sank deep. My stomach turned cold. Because I knew she wasn't lying. That night, back at home, my phone buzzed. I hesitated before answering. "Ethan?" Marcus's voice was low, cautious. I froze. He had used my real name. "I don't know what's going on," he continued, "but today at the mall that was you, wasn't it? Don't lie. I know you better than anyone." My throat tightened. I pressed the phone to my ear, eyes blurring with tears. I wanted to confess. I wanted to tell him everything. But in the doorway, leaning casually against the frame, Claire stood with her arms crossed, smiling coldly. She mouthed the words slowly, clearly. "Don't you dare." I swallowed hard, my voice breaking. "You're imagining things." The silence on the line stretched, painful and heavy. Finally, Marcus sighed. "If you ever want to tell me the truth, I'll be here. Don't let her control you." Then the call ended, leaving me trembling, torn between the boy who knew me and the woman who owned me. That night, as I sat in front of the mirror in a baby blue nightdress Claire had chosen, I stared at my reflection. My face, painted soft, framed by curled hair, wasn't Ethan's anymore. And for the first time, I whispered the name Claire had given me under my breath. "Evelyn." The sound made my stomach flip, half fear, half something else. And that was the moment I realized I was slipping,